I'm Jeff Hardwick from the Division of Public Programs at the National Endowment for the Humanities. And on behalf of NEH and all my colleagues, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to support the vital work of museums. As you may know, museums, historic sites, and cultural institutions are the lifeblood of NEH. And since I work in public programs, I'm keenly aware of the challenges that museums have been facing the last couple of years. So before I go any further, I want to thank you for the important, crucial work that you've done in your communities over the last 2 years, and underline that if there's any way NEH can support or help your institution, please don't hesitate to contact us directly. Also, many thanks to Laura Lott and the staff of AAM for including NEH in today's program. Museums sit at the heart of the work we do at the endowment, and this is reflected in our founding legislation. Usually when we speak about NEH's founding, we reference a single powerful line: democracy demands wisdom. In that one sentence, legislators, who seem to be poetically inspired at the moment, recognize the connection between the health of the humanities and the health of our democratic systems. And that remains true today. But there's another passage from NEH's founding legislation that speaks to our present and the goals of Museum Advocacy Day, perhaps even better. And it reads, "The arts and the humanities reflect the high place accorded by the American people to the nation's rich cultural heritage and to the fostering of mutual respect for the diverse beliefs and values of all persons and groups." As everyone listening today knows all too well, these are words and goals that sit at the core of what our museums hope to instill today: respect for our rich cultural heritage and the diversity that makes up America. These ideals are practiced across both your day-to-day work in exhibitions, education programs, preservation of artifacts, work with school children, public engagement with your communities, as well as the long-term work over decades, evolving as museums do to reflect and interpret our histories, our present-day circumstances, and the challenges of our future. And as we all know, our cultural institutions are also vital components of the economic infrastructure of our nation, towns, and cities. As is obvious by the fact that we're all having to meet virtually nearly all the time, it seems, we face a moment in our history a few of us could have ever imagined. And our cultural institutions have been upended by this pandemic. Yet they've proven steadfast and stubbornly adaptable, buoyed by a renewed interest in the ways we think about who we are and what stories we tell. Our museums, historic sites, and media like podcasts and public television have all seen surging demand throughout the pandemic, and they've rushed to adapt their content to new formats to make them as widely available as possible. I personally know that being at home last year with virtual school with 2 teenage boys, we would not have made it through without online resources and materials from cultural institutions. We've also heard calls from a new generation who are hungry for knowledge about the past, demanding an open, honest discussion of events, influences, and ideas that have shaped our society, for better or worse. The NEH and our state and jurisdictional humanities councils remain deeply invested in these efforts, and we both have supported this work through the emergency funding that Congress provided of the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan. But we also support it through our traditional grant programs. Frankly, we are a relatively small federal agency, but we like to think we punch well above our weight, awarding nearly 1,000 grants a year, funding exhibitions, preservation, education, and humanities institutions. For example, NEH's infrastructure and capacity building challenge grants leverage significant federal funding to spur private investment in cultural institutions and help museums shore themselves up for the long term. Infrastructure grants may be used for a wide range of activities: construction projects, purchase of software, preservation of humanities collections, and they require raising of matching funds. In the past couple of years, these catalytic NEH grants have been awarded to numerous institutions, such as the Esperanza Peace and Justice Center for the preservation of 7 historic buildings in San Antonio's West Side neighborhood, to support the National Public Housing Museum in Chicago, to create a museum to tell the story of public housing in the US, and to assist with the relocation of the Ham Archives, documenting the history of the Brooklyn Academy of Music. NEH also continues its longstanding work of funding exhibitions, permanent, temporary, or traveling exhibitions through the Division of Public Programs, which is my home division. Recent exhibitions include Supernatural America, The Paranormal and American Art, which just opened at the Minneapolis Institute of Art, an exhibition developed by the Children's Museum of Indianapolis called Malala's Story, about her life and advocacy for girls' education in Pakistan. History Colorado is soon opening a new permanent exhibition on the 1864 Sand Creek Massacre of Cheyenne and Arapaho tribal members. And Boston's Old North Church, an important colonial American site, received funds to create a new interpretive plan focused on the congregants' connections to financing and benefiting from the slavery of African peoples in the Americas. The other major supporter of museums at NEH is the Division of Preservation and Access, which offers a range of grants that help institutions preserve humanities collections, from preservation assistance grants for smaller institutions to humanities collections and reference resources for large collections. The division provides grants that support collections assessment, cataloging and digitization, preservation training, disaster planning, and research in conservation of artifacts. Recent grants include a preservation assistance grant to support a paper conservator's preservation assessment of the Works Progress Administration collection held by the Key West Art and Historical Society, another preservation assistance grant to the Ponca tribe of Nebraska to engage a conservator to conduct a general assessment of the tribe's museum and archives, and the last one is a preservation education training grant to the Midwest Art Conservation Center for its work supporting cultural repositories throughout the upper Midwest. At NEH, we know that museums, archives, historic sites, and other cultural institutions are our nation's most valuable treasures. And we also realize it's been a trying 2 years for many institutions. NEH is firmly committed to providing support and funding to museums of all sizes across the country, and to expanding our reach and impact. We consider each of you partners in promoting and sustaining the humanities, and thank you again for the inspiring work that you do.